48 years ago today, June 20th, 1975, terror swam to the shores of Amity Island and the shores of your local box office in Spielberg's Jaws, a film so terrifying that unleashed the next universal monster. Hey folks, my name is JT the Talking Head, you're the audience, and today I just wanted to talk about Jaws because it's Jaws' birthday. Let's celebrate. This is my favorite summer movie, 100%. I have probably 2 or 3. The only one that maybe even comes close to this is Sandlot, but overall, Jaws is where it's at. This was also the movie that I watched, the disc that I spun to test out my 4K TV. This 4K disc is excellent, so I just wanted to kind of do a little bit of a retrospective on Jaws. So as stated previously, Jaws released in 1975, and I would kind of say that it swam to the theaters, not crashed to the shores, because it only opened to about $7 million on its opening weekend at the box office, but after all was said and done, it reached over $470 million. You may have also caught at the beginning of this video that I proclaimed proudly that I believe Jaws the shark to be a universal monster. And there's a lot of argument and discourse about this idea of, is the shark from Jaws or is not the shark from Jaws a universal monster? I think that there's 2 different ways you can look at it. You can look at it from the writing perspective, and you can look at it from the horror movie perspective. Now, if you're looking at it from the horror movie perspective, absolutely, it is a universal monster. The shark from Jaws is a monster. It's terrifying. It's not a normal encounter with a shark. There is a rhyme or reason with it going mad and everybody dying around it, and there's a whole story behind it, and it is from Universal, so that makes it, to me, a universal monster. Now, if you look at it through the writing perspective, I can see how you might not feel the same. Now, when looking at Jaws from a writer's perspective, I'm reminded of a story that I read in college called The Open Boat by Stephen Crane. It is a very naturalist story, and I find that Jaws is also a story that's rooted in naturalism. Now, in The Open Boat, it's about a group of men who are stranded at sea in a raft, and they're constantly fighting the forces of Mother Nature to get to shore. Through the whole story, you're reading about these characters' inner thoughts and monologues and their interactions, but it's not really until they get to shore, finally, somewhat safe and unscathed, that you realize that the story the whole time was not about the men and the boat. It was about the tidal waves and the conditions that they were stranded in that was a force provided by Mother Nature. That in of itself is naturalism in writing. Jaws is a force of nature. He's a shark. He's natural. He is a natural being to this planet. Therefore, he is a force of Mother Nature. He is a naturalist character in this film. Now, what else can naturalism suggest? Naturalism can suggest that our conditions and environment that us as humans are in will completely shape our actions. In Jaws, Sheriff Brody is a product of his environment. He is a sheriff of this beach town, and he always has to be aware of things like sharks and tidal waves and undertows and all of that from the beach. So when a major shark starts targeting the citizens of Amity Island, Sheriff Brody must leap into action, and he must seemingly take on Mother Nature herself. To me, Jaws is a little bit of both. It's a naturalist story, and it's a horror story. So yeah, the shark from Jaws can be a force of nature, but also a universal monster. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree, but I think that the one thing that we can all agree on is that Jaws is an awesome movie. It's one of the best summer blockbusters ever made. And in my opinion, the shark from Jaws is the best universal monster. Have a good one.